Okay, hello everybody. Typing up my message as the usual per the start of this. Oops. And give me a minute. Please do say hi in the chat. Let's see. Before I get started, I want to read up my usual little disclaimer. It's good legal form to do that. Today, especially in the US, excuse me, today is February 9th. My name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I don't diagnose or prescribe or heal. I can scan your frequency and energy patterning and tell you what I see. You should consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice of that kind. All content is copyright protected and you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. Hello. You have COVID. Woohoo! Celebration time, Ilaria. All right, you finally got it. Good for you. Um, yay. Now you're good to go, I think, yeah? Um, hello. Hola, amiga. And hi, Diana. Good to have everybody here. And so today we're going to do something a little bit different. Wait a bit for people to get on. I hopefully Facebook is able to connect in. Technically, I am connected to Facebook, but in terms of the posts, I can't tell on this end. Just tells me I can't post messages to some channels. And Facebook. I think that's Facebook, guys. But I can get your messages. I'm not sure if I can reply. Hello, yes, good morning to you, Sophia. So anyways, today we're going to do something a little bit different. What's coming up to do, at least this month, we'll see. We'll see how this unfolds month by month. But what's coming up to do is, okay, I have to read this. Ilaria's got COVID. Celebration time, guys. Hopefully, I won't get bad symptoms for the time being. I have a burning hot session in the heart space. Yeah, just a reminder is that, hey, Michelle, Ilaria, is that the hydrogen peroxide in France, they have two levels that they sell, and you want to make sure. So I'm thinking that maybe in Italy it's the same. So you want to make sure that you have the 10%. Because they also sell like 30%, but it's the antiseptic kind, basically. And you mix it 1 part hydrogen peroxide, 10% to 11 parts water, and then you use that as a spray. It so in the States you could find these little tiny spray bottles, or you could even just use it to gargle, snort. uh, yeah, Sophia, hold on a second. You're kind of jumping ahead the gun. Let me get into this first. And if you have essential oils, thyme has been found to be good. Thyme's and oregano, if you can get those, also if you have those. But um, can't hear you. Well, I don't know what to say about that. There's something wrong with Facebook, I think. Let me see if you get my message. Oh, I can hear now. So it could be on your end, actually, or just the internet between me and Facebook and Restream and Facebook and you. And anyways, so yeah, Ilaria, good to go. That's what you wanted after all, wasn't it? So, okay, today we're going to do things a little bit differently. What came up to do? So this is a coming into being. We're going to start by doing a group I don't like the word meditation because there's a certain connotation to meditation, so that's why I hesitated with that, where we just everybody kind of just goes into deep space and then that's it. No, I will hold the space for you and take you into a deeper space. And what I want you to focus on while we're doing that is to really come into your present awareness of yourself. So I'll guide you into that. And then throughout the meditation clearing, um, pay attention to when you get pulled off away from just being centered on yourself and your awareness centered on yourself. You know, it could be your physical body, it could be just that whole kind of sense. It could be your body and that extended space, as long as you stay present in the physical. And then we'll dive in and talk a little bit. What I would like to hear from you is where the difficulty is coming up. What's showing up for you that's distracting you away from staying centered and staying in that quiet space, you know? Uh, that's one of the very important things that you can do for yourselves. Uh, you know, one thing that came up yesterday with someone is that by coming into that quiet space, you know, see where you want to, you're pulled into jumping into to something, because that do you really have to go and jump into whatever you get pulled into, especially right in that moment. And practice is good, to hold that for yourself of not moving, not moving out of that space. So I don't mean not moving physically, but not moving out of that state of awareness on yourself and just noticing whatever comes up, but not getting pulled out of that centering. And it reminds me of if you've seen the movie Eat, Pray, Love, there's a scene where she is at the meditation center, I guess in India, and she's sitting here, she can feel like all these mosquitoes, or she's sitting on the bench, I think, and meditating after having been there for a while and meditating. And I think um, I might not be recalling it quite exactly, but it's like all these mosquitoes start biting her and everything, and then she doesn't move, and then boom, it just clears out. Hey, aloha, Mike, good to see you. Bringing us some nice warm sunshine from Hawaii there. Yay. um, And then all of a sudden she just keeps, you know, just hangs in there. And there's all this, what seems to be real distractions that she's got to deal with, but she just ignores it. All of a sudden it just dissipates and disappears. So we're gonna go into a deep kind of state. I'm gonna have you again guide you in, and then we'll be in there. However long it feels like it's appropriate for us to be in there, and then we'll come out, and I will want to hear from you where you get, so we can work on that to help you get to a place where you can be more centered for yourself. And the other piece that's coming up to say is another reason for doing that is that by being able to go into that space, you can start to go in and get that deeper guidance for yourself. I mean, it's great to be going to various people, you know, who really get good guidance and all that, who give you good information, but coming more into doing that more for yourselves and using other people as kind of to double check yourself or to get more information because you know they can go in deeper than you, kind of thing. And the other thing that's coming up is that by learning to hold your space in a group setting where I'm holding the space for you, by being able to hold that for yourself more, you hold your boundaries better. You don't get pulled into things that will distort you, that will put you in positions of taking on other people's stuff, taking responsibility for other people, of doing things like, well, some people have this real need to fill in a void. So I'm gonna take you into that void to really help you to learn to practice just not going into that. When a void can be somebody doesn't answer back, and then it's like, oh, some people just get pulled into, having to jump in with the answer. Or a void can be just there's furniture, there's nothing on the furniture, and you've got to fill up that space, that empty space. I know some people like that. So anyway, and then we'll see what else we have time for. So let's take a deep breath in, sip of water if you need, like me. Let yourself kind of settle into what you're sitting on, or if you're standing, what you're standing on. Let yourself really feel your body. Well, and a really good practice for you. It's like, uh, uh, hey, it's your time. So, we can talk about that more, afterwards, but very good. So noticing already what's getting in your way. Good start. We're off to a good start here. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So really feeling your physical body. And if you need to, if you've been in your head, it's nice to just even just squeeze your physical body to just bring that tactile sensation in more strongly. Notice what you're sitting on. If you're sitting, if you're standing, notice what you're standing up. Notice the pressure of the chair and you, and there's a balance between the two pressures that support you perfectly. That keep you from going too far or keep you from not going down at all. Feel that coming down. Your whole system kind of slowing down, your energy just kind of dropping down. Taking some deeper breaths in. So all this is part of what you can do for yourself when you just need to become more present and slow down. Notice if you're kind of just feeling a little antsy. Sophia, you're really standing up with that one. Standing out. Like there's that little fidgety kid inside of you. It's got a really hard time sitting still. And if you're on the other end too, if you feel like yourself getting a little sleepy, notice that too. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and it can also be um, your mind doesn't want to go to that deeper state. So it's like it tries to distract you away from being aware of what's happening at a deeper level by making you feel sleepy. Everything, both of those can be taking you where you need to go or distracting you away. I'll take a look at the comments later. Come into your chest space, your heart, your chest, your breathing. Okay, and now just kind of keep focusing on your breathing. If you get off, notice what's pulling you off that awareness on your breathing, and then come back to your breathing. So let me go a little bit more. I'm going to go in deeper, so I'm going to be quiet for a little bit to really pull you into a deeper space. and also clearing as I go, but it's gonna be general, and I'm not gonna say what I'm clearing. I'm just gonna be focused more on that space for you. And just allow yourself to notice what you notice in the space. Become aware of how that feels to you. And again, if you get distracted away from what the experience is for you in the moment, like thinking, like a noise, like whatever, just notice what that is and come back to your breathing and then dropping into the experience more deeply. And every once in a while, if you feel like you need to, if it feels appropriate for you, take a nice deep breath in, hold it at the top for a couple seconds, couple counts, and then just slowly releasing it out, coming back into the breathing, your breathing rhythm in your chest. Okay, taking a nice deep breath in for yourself, holding it for a longer count this time, at least 5, 9, 10. And then when you're ready to release, just exhaling all the breath out of your lungs completely, squeezing those lungs out, all the old air, and then allowing that just come back into your normal breathing, which we will do automatically. Opening your eyes, looking around you for a minute, and allowing yourself to be present with your physical body, even as you look around. And just allow yourself to feel into where you are now. So I'd like to hear where people felt themselves. You know, what was pulling you away? And Sophia, your last message here says, yeah, today case conference with insurance, and I'm doing my best to stay centered. I think that's the problem you have all the time, actually. So that's just kind of an event that's making you notice it more. but you're kind of all over the place all the time, and it's like there's this part of you that is still about you're 5 years old, and you're just running all over the place, and it almost feels like when you were growing up, no the adults did not give you the boundaries that they were supposed to when you were growing up, and so you don't have any sense of what that's supposed to be like. Um, so no being enough, doing enough. So not doing parents pushed me as a kid to keep small. Um, yeah, and so, uh, yeah, and it feels like there's a lot of, you're taking on a lot of people's stuff. And so that's your parents, but you're doing that now. You have a way of doing that. That's, you know, a lot of reason for all the pain you keep coming up with, and stuff. But fell asleep. Yes. So that feels like there's just at a vibrational level, you hit that place where you can't your awareness, your mind cannot hold it at as you go to, higher frequencies, basically, and you just conk out, and that happens to everybody. Sleepiness seems like the theme today, so also sleepy here. Um, Part of what I see with you, Allie, is that it feels like you don't get the rest you need. You probably already know that from our conversations. Uh, so got up to prepare myself a natural medication to fight the infection. Okay, so good one. So you got to ask yourself, I could have waited another 10 minutes to do that. Sub-medication, and I think in this case, this is not the case for you, but in some medications, it's like you've gotta be really precise about when you take it. I don't think that's the case here. And so that's the question. It's like, why so what pulled me away from that in the moment? And so this resistance to going deeper, that's okay, Ilaria, we all do this. I've done this so many times. I sit down in meditation, all of a sudden I'm picking up my it's like, "What the hell am I picking up my phone for?" No, I don't need to look, because it's that piece of not wanting to there's a resistance that you could say the pain body, but there's that resistance to going in a little bit deeper, connecting more with ourselves, and, ah, and maybe we'll do another round of this. This is good. Haha, yes, sleep and more focus instead of being involved in too many projects. Um, I would say it's almost like less focus in a way, but, yeah, well, want to have strong boundaries and be only me clean for now and also before. It's work in progress, so you just have to keep working at it, um, and you just have to keep working at it because it's not gonna happen overnight. Trust me, it's not gonna happen overnight. It might take a bit of time to get there, but every time, and so don't beat yourself up, you guys, if you got distracted, just notice. So this is not to say, "Whoop, you did that wrong," but it's to say, "Okay, what's the reason for that? Why was that?" I feel like I didn't quite finish with, Ilaria's thing. So what is that part? And so, s if you got distracted by something, went and did something else, or by thought, just kinda just take a deep breath in, come into yourselves, And Diana, so I don't know if that's the same thing for you. It's like if you are at work and you need to go do something for work, that's different. I can understand you stepping out. Or if it's just something else that can actually wait another 10 minutes. So everybody just connect in, come into yourself, take a deep breath in, come into your chest, breathe into your heart, chest, heart space, chest. Focus on your breath. And just feel into that piece that pulled you out. I'll get to you in a minute, Michelle. Do your comment. Just feel into that. So if it was going off to do something else, it's like, okay, what was that need? What was that motivation to pull out of just being with myself? Step out of that, even if it's for just the amount of time it takes to pick up your phone, to pull out. So that's even less than a minute. But what's pulling you out? And see if you can just feel into that for a minute and give it some space to be noticed. There's a lot of different things coming up for people. There's a lot of patterning around. I see family patterning that's preventing people from really being focused on themselves. It's like you got pulled into focusing on other people, family. Ilaria, I see that coming up with you. I think Sophia also. To whatever is going on it's in different ways, whether it's because they're having an argument, and so that's making you feel unsettled. So not enough strength, inner stability, not enough inner stability to just notice that and stay here, kind of thing. Let's see what's coming up for people. I thought I was experiencing some past life stuff also. Yeah, that's fine. So that can come up, and you just like, okay, that's interesting. I'm staying right here because when you, and whether it's past life or whether it's distortions or memory of something that happened when you were a kid, it could be, that kind of all fits into one thing. It's like a past life might feel like for some reason it pulls you out more. So that's something to kind of, why is that pulling me out more than, memory of what I did or my conversation with somebody else? It's more important. What are the values that we attach to that? Well, it's more important. It's more interesting. It's because all of that, nothing is more important than you, yourself, your connection. Connecting with yourself, relaxing into that. What does that mean when we do that? That means we're stepping into owning ourselves, owning our power, owning our strength, not having somebody else control us. And when we do that, all those things that are external, not necessarily external, I mean, they come in internally, but all of those things that are keeping us from that place of centering and strength for ourselves start to pull at us. Well, they're still controlling you if you're stepping out of that. Yeah, there's your solar plexus area, but there's a lot more going on in you. There's a lot in your heart space actually going on for you. Wow, you've got a lot of emotional grief in there. So that starts to come into play. And that's why the solar plexus is that's part of the reasons why your solar plexus is so full of stuff, actually. You started taking people into that area to try to not go into what you were feeling here. So you can start wherever you want, but I would look at both of those actually. So any other comments? Any questions around that staying centered? Let's focus on this a little specifically. Yeah, it's a lot more than sadness. So instead of typing in another comment, because that's part of that pattern for you, sit and feel with it. Crying a lot today. Well, that's there's other reasons for that crying too, but come in to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself without writing a comment before you write your next comment. Give yourself a count of 50 of just that, feeling that into that for yourself. Oh, yeah, it's not easy, but so this is an example, not to pick on you, not to say you're doing this wrong, but this is because that's a very visual example of what at least 3 other people have brought up here. So, you feel is something and type in a message. You feel something and you get closer to something in here, go pick up that phone or go give yourself that natural injection. And it's so come back to that, notice that, and it's like, "Okay, what am I running away from?" Yeah, and all of this man, this is stirring up a lot of stuff for people. So again, this is, yeah, this is good because, there's a lot of this, "I did something wrong" coming up for people. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Because that's part of what's pulling you out. It's not because I'm saying it. It's just it's coming to the surface because I'm getting in it's falling into that dynamic by really pointing that out to you. It's just about everybody on the call here, that's getting into that place. If it's getting pointed out, there's something wrong, and I didn't do that right. So, woo, a lot of stuff. Everybody take it. Let's clear that out because now it's at the surface. So this is a big piece of what's kept people in the way, what's gotten in the way for people. So take a deep breath in. So yeah, there we go. Just relax into yourself. Relax into it's like that helplessness, maybe even hopelessness, but mostly helplessness. Feeling that judgment that's you've just been carrying here. Yeah, there we go. Breathing into that, allowing yourself to just breathe into that. Yeah. Helplessness is one of those things that we want to run away from. We don't want to feel that. Um, because where do you go with that? And there's nowhere to go with that, but allowing yourself to just breathe into that for a moment, not resisting it, allows it to dissipate, at least a little bit, and it might not be dissipated completely. You might have to keep coming back to that. And that's all right. You even if you just do it once, come back to it later, do it once more, do it once more. And each time just going a little bit deeper. It's like you've got this big chunk of something here. So each time you go, it's like a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. You've got to go until you're all the way through to the other side. You don't have to do this all in one sitting. And a lot of times we can't or we don't because we just need to take a break, reorient, and come in deeper. So everybody's a little calmer with that. And it's okay to feel that helplessness. Yeah. So there's a little bit more ease now for people around that. That's good. Okay, take another deep breath in for yourself. We all want to do it right. We all want to do it right in the sense of doing it well so that we are ascended, so that we have mastery for ourselves, so that we can really hold our space for all of that. And it's always work in progress. There's always a little higher to go to. Um, so just take a deep breath in of just exactly where you're at. There's actually moving into an even better space now because all of what we've been talking about here came to the surface. And feel yourself just kind of relaxing into that. It's really about the resistance more than even like the helplessness. It's that resistance to feeling that's creating more stress and tension. Allie, what's coming up for you is just releasing that wanting to do it all kind of feeling that's coming up right now. And just that it's almost like distress. And it's almost like it almost feels like there's this concern that you're going to miss out on life if you don't do it all at once now. Like it's gonna slip through your fingers. The thing that's slipping through your fingers is the present moment for all of us when we step out of that. Coming into that breathing. Mike, I feel like you've got it's a little bit of stuff on the brain. It's what side is that? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's your left side of your head actually. That starts to pull you a little bit into the mental stuff. I don't know if it's worry, but it's kind of a worry-like pattern. So take a deep breath into that and just come down. And it's a worry. It's similar to worry. It doesn't I don't think it's actually worry, but it's similar to worry because it's like looping around in a circle. It's like you're on the hamster wheel here. So, and if it's for work, that's fine, but once in a while, just kinda take a deep breath in, come down here. So part of the coming more deeply into ourselves is to allow the brilliant mind to kind of come through more and bring in those uh, ideas, that creativity, that ideas, the whatever we need, answers from that deeper place that's not coming through the mental mind. So all of the stuff that we're really clearing out here has to do with that mental human level that's trying to have all the answers, that's trying to do everything, that's trying to basically control everything. Let's take another nice deep breath in. A lot of emotional pieces. Uh, Diana, what's coming up with you is like this wishing you could do it better. So there's some judgment around that. Use the judgment to it's like, okay, so I didn't do it as well as I could have. I managed to okay. I want to do it better. Let's shift that judgment into that kind of line of thinking instead of like, yeah, I messed up kind of, you know. And that's okay. You're doing great. You're doing good. Michelle, you also want to be doing it better. And that's fine. That's good. So asking ourselves the questions like, what can I do better next time? One the suggestion, I mean, you can practice this on your own. And one suggestion is to, all right, let me put on a 5-minute timer. Unbelievable how long 5 minutes can seem, even a minute, 5 minutes or longer if you want. And put it on, and then just allow yourself to go into the breathing, go into just focusing on your breath, being centered, and you don't shift away from that breathing, focus on awareness on yourself until that timer goes off, you know, and extending it out. So that's one way to also practice. A little heart, Diana, thank you. A little heart to you too. Any other comments? Yeah, I'm reading a earlier message from you, Sophia, right side mom, left side dad. Yeah, kind of those totally switched around there as far as, uh and the thing is you didn't have to take on their stuff, so now you've got all this stuff, and the question's like, "Why in the hell did I take this on?" Right? So clearing that out, um start going into your body more and not going to jumping to sessions as much to keep clearing up your thing. The m my f a and that actually ties into your whole family patterning is n not being given that space to really be in charge and in control of yourself. So start taking control of yourself by coming into your body, and instead of running to do a session, take at least a day, not sign up for that session, come into yourself more, connect with your body more. Um, I'll try the timer, thanks. Yes, it's every time you do it, it gets easier, so you can also stress, yeah, and that way you say, "Okay, I've got the timer on, I don't have to worry," because if you're sitting there, I was like, how long has it been?" I mean, try this. Try to close your eyes and just, like, without a timer, just see how long it feels like when it's only been, you know, God, it's only been 2 minutes. It's been feels like 20, um, to develop that to stretch ourselves. So that's a little technique for stretching ourselves to hold longer, and it gets easier. Um, um, okay, let's take another deep breath in. And let's come into your breathing, come into yourself. Feel yourself connecting with yourself. Okay, not an easy session today. It's not kind of all fun and games, but what I see now is it's a little easier for people to come into relax into that being it feels like everybody just ran a marathon. It feels like there's that physical literally physical exhaustions for some of you, um, from going what we just went through with that clearing. Okay. And with each exhale, just allowing yourself to melt, physically melt those muscles and that tension just a little bit more. Yeah, clear out that residue for you. Gonna clear out that. Keep focusing on your breath and focusing on relaxing into your body more. A good layers coming off here. So focusing on that for everybody. That's an interesting layer because it was a layer of basically of this patterning that just about everybody has of either or, black and white, this or that, and we're so used to doing that. And even in terms of programming, people have gotten stuck even with the concept of programming, whether it's frequency or anything else, that it's binary, and it's not. Life is a bit more complex than that. It starts with binary, but then there's another possibility, another possibility. So that kind of actually, yeah, nice. That just kind of lit up some people there. It's like, oh, just opened up more possibility. And I mean, the whole medical diagnosis thing, it's like it's this whole binary thing. It's this or that. No, it's this or that. It's this or that. And that really locks us into a very limited scope of things here. And in the real matrix, it's like, well, there's this, and then there's this. But there's also this, this, and there's this whole array of stuff. Yeah, there we go. You're either good or bad. No, you just are, and something happened that took you in one direction or another, and then actually just being present with all that takes you into a third direction. Asking a question takes you into a whole fourth direction. Asking a different question takes you into an even different direction. There we go. Yeah. All right. Here's stuff clearing out for people. We're going to end here. Good job. Yeah, this was an interesting session. Different way to work, but next week we'll kind of do a little bit this. Well, we'll see. We'll see in the moment, but basically kind of doing the same thing. And notice where you are now compared to where you were before. So, Sophia, you feel a lot more settled. Everybody feels a little bit more calmer. Not so up here trying to not come down to avoid what's kind of below on the dark layers below. Ilaria, I'm going to send you a little email after this because I have just something I want to share with you. Thank you, Marianne, and everyone. Yes, thank you, everyone. That was really good. And thanks for stopping in, guys. I'm just waiting to see if there's any other little comments, but we're going to end here. So good job. That was a good session. So Sophia, just come into, I don't know when your meeting is here, but just kind of keep focusing on your breath. Thank you. Tips to how to maximize work on my heart space. Just really simply, just come into your heart, just breathe into that, bring your awareness into that. Even if it's just for a minute, just let yourself feel what's there. And you don't have to stay there for a long time, but just kind of stay with it, feel it, just notice it. You can just say, oh, that's this, I can feel that. Allow yourself to breathe into that and keep working at it. That way, when you go and do sessions with whoever, so Moss and Padilla, but whoever else, do more for yourself before sessions, and this is for all of us. That way, the session can take you even deeper and further instead of using the sessions to just clear out the top layer dust. Use your power to go into hurt in there. Stay with it. Hear that part of you that hurts. You got to stay with yourself there. Yeah, absolutely. That's the piece that's the self-parenting that Moss even talks about. Says you got to do that for yourself. Even he says that. So there you go. Good job, everybody. Keep at it. Next week again, we'll be back for the continuing adventures, right? Who knows where the ethers will take us, and we will see. So in the meantime, just come into yourself whenever you can, and we'll see you next week or wherever. Oh, Elizabeth, oh, you just came in at the end, or were you on before? Haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well. Hope school's going okay for you. Yes, you're late. You're like an hour late, Elizabeth. Next time. And re-listen to this. I think that might this will be a good one for you to re-listen to with what we did today for that practice for yourself, because I know that's something that we've talked about before, about really coming to connecting with yourself. So next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. I know you're on Eastern time, so 4 o'clock. See you in the ethers, guys.